So in Georgia State Prison in Baldwin, two inmates, Dunnigan and Bustler, all serving less than 20 years at the time, were in the same prison with a disgusting, chomo, coward piece of shit by the name of Timothy Watson. The chomo, that is the victim, if you want to call him that here, was convicted for 25 years for aggravated sexual assault on a minor under the age of 14. It is stated that he was on PC and he could not get out of his cell. But like in so many other prisons, a PC just means you're in a cell with a bunch of other sharks swimming around. During the time, he was extorted, poisoned. Every time the flap would open, shit thrown in his face, piss thrown in his face, constantly under the threat, having to pay a certain amount that his family would send to certain inmates every month. That's what happens when inmates physically cannot get their hands on these chomo demonic piece of shits. Now, this goes to show you how either somebody is connected with the family, or when you look at somebody and you see the evil that they did to a child, it does something in a man when you know that not only you can do something to them, but you could do it anytime you want in the worst way possible with some of the most vicious people helping you. It sounds crazy that they just completely are now both facing the death penalty for what they did. And what they did is this. Finally, the door opened accidentally where they ran into his cell, the Chomo cell. David Watson. As David Watson kind of balled up like all the Chomos do because they're cowards. He is stabbed 48 times in the neck, collarbone, back of the head, face, and then one of the inmates, either Dunnigan or Bustler, was in charge of strangling him. He grabbed him and strangled him until he was no longer moving, while the other inmate was covering a piece of paper, a book, something with an accelerant that they were going to light on fire while also covering the chomo with the accelerant. It is stated by other inmates that he was not dead, but just completely incapacitated while they laid him on the bed on his stomach, covering him with some type of flammable liquid, then throwing a book covered on the flammable liquid on fire on his back. They don't know if it was the stabbings, the strangling, or the fire, or all three, that ultimately killed this chomo. And now both inmates face the death penalty. I want you to think about that. Here are two men that could have been doing anything with their life. Young, be home within the next 8 years. And they got around a man that viciously hurt a child. That isn't just a beating or a stabbing or a slicing. That is personal. That is how it feels to be around these predators. So to all you predators out there, just know your day is coming, whether it's going to be the parents, the COs, or the inmates. People are willing to not only throw their life away from basic stabbings or fightings and beatings to hurt you. They are willing to torture you in the worst way possible. Because 99% chance here, somebody knew one of the victims of this chomo. To have somebody go in there with their friend, beat you, stab you, strangle you, and light you on fire to the point the whole dorm smelled like rotted flesh, and he was on protective custody, shows you we are tired of this bullshit. Leave our kids alone. Stay out. Stay free. Us.